Well, Barada. Are you ready for life's journey this morning? So you'll be pleased to know, we're going to send it out there straight away. I am not speaking for long because I actually covered quite a lot about the scattered church last week. So if you go on the website and the Facebook, you can listen to what I went through last week. It's really important that what we're talking about is hands up, who is in the scattered church? Actually, visitors, you're very welcome. You're all part of the scattered church. You gather on a Sunday or wherever your church is, and for the rest of the time, you are the scattered church. You are walking and talking and being. And I'm talking about your 6 days and 20 hours rather than your 2 hours on a Sunday and maybe your midweek group. And it's important that we really feel and allow and permit God into our everyday. Right, so let's just start. So our Westgarth scattered church. So we went through last week, why do we gather? It's biblical, it's important. We're like a coal fire. It's about coming back and feeling warm. If you keep that piece of coal out of the fire, it goes cold and lonely. Okay, and we had a really good passage about and a picture about a bonfire in Llangefni and people coming with sticks and they're taking their sticks out and being light to the world and then coming back to the gathering and putting their sticks back in to reignite and go out again. And so we are the sent ones. We are taking the gospel to new places and spaces. Jesus wants to turn up in your normal place, your school gate, your supermarket, your doctor's appointment, your dentist appointment, your family argument. Jesus wants to turn up. Allow him in. What should we be doing as a church? And people shouted out a load of different things. And these were some of the things that we came across about praying and worship, supporting local businesses, tourist spots, bands, choirs, people doing Alpha, Christians Against Poverty. This guy, this is our culture says, that media is correct, media is honest, and it shapes our culture. And we can be engrossed in just looking at that. I'm scared to go out, I'm scared to interact with people anymore. I'm all doom and gloom. Where actually there's a whole creation, and look outside and be outside. That's really important. Sometimes, and this really comes to me, we have to connect our brain, our heart, and our spirit before we talk. And never has there been a better example than me at the front. My attempts to live as Jesus would is fueled privately living as Jesus did. It's important to just be there and have that time. We all can cram our time in so full. And it's really important to give Jesus space. This is our Sunday gathering. This is our scattered church. We meet here and we scatter for the rest of the week. And those visitors who are lovely on holiday and stuff like that, you are part of this as well. Because I've got hopefully nobody's flown in from Africa or Singapore. No, we're all right. So I've got the UK map here, so we can all do that and we can all do this. This is brilliant. This is one of the most important things that I want to say, okay? Turn to the person next to you and say who you are, what you do, and where you are matters. My question then is, do you believe it? Because some people won't, and some people don't. Some people devalue themselves in the workplace. If only I had a better job, I'll be a better Christian. If only my social people around me were better, I could be a better person. It's wrong. Where you are, Jesus wants to work. What you do and how you are, you don't have to attain to be an amazingly brilliant person before you can talk and be Jesus to people. Because Jesus meets you where you are now, and he interacts with you now, and you are in the right position where you are now to make a difference into people's lives. You matter. It's important. So what I talked about very quickly, again, so this positive mental attitude is something that the world will send after you. And if you're positive about everything, then everything will just fall into place. And some people struggle with that. And again, it's about mattering. It's about valuing yourself. And what I said last week is that, can we change the P into possible? Is it possible that I can do a little bit more? Is it possible I can let Jesus in to my everyday? on my Thursday 3:00 meeting on Zoom, where I don't really like everybody, so I actually turn the screen off. Is it possible I could turn the screen on and be a bit nicer? Is it possible that I could value the other people in the meeting because they have their own worldly problems and pressures and stuff? It's not sometimes all about me, it's about me being Jesus into other people's lives and respecting that they have their own issues. Right, so this is what I'm talking about this morning, okay? I'm going to give you some really good examples about infectious generosity. Has anybody heard of infectious generosity? Infectious generosity. I'm just going to give you some really amazing stories about people changing atmospheres and changing the society around them. Who has a staff fridge? Is anybody in a workplace where they share a staff fridge and stuff like that? They're all labelled up here. They've got keep your hands off, don't even think about it is on one of them. If you eat this, I will go hungry is another one. Bob's keep off. So this is a story that I heard. So a young trainee teacher went into a school. She's really nervous. Didn't really know, it was the first time she taught. Her lessons went really well. And she started really, really good. Every time she went in the staff room, it was like nobody spoke to each other. And like even the people in the same departments didn't speak to each other. And she couldn't understand it. And she opened the staff fridge, and there they were, splattered all over the things. Geography department, Annie's milk, with even a Sharpie pen on the bottle showing how far it had gone. Okay? And she thought, wow, okay. So there was literally 8 little cartons of milk, all with different names on. Do you know what she did the next day? She bought 4 pints of milk, put it in the fridge, and she went, for everyone. And the atmosphere changed. She wasn't preaching the gospel. She wasn't saying, my milk, but John 3:16. If you can recite John 3:16, you can take some out of this bottle. Okay? It wasn't that at all. She just changed the environment. A small act changed the environment. And it became infectious because people were then generous. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't mind if you have some of my stuff. Or I'll bring an extra sandwich, if you're struggling, or whatever. It changed the staff atmosphere. It changed the school. Because the whole school changed because of this infectious generosity. And all she did was buy 4 pints of milk regularly, but that's what she did. And she changed the atmosphere. You don't have to be big and powerful. You don't have to have all your stuff sorted. You just need to be infectious. Suspended coffee. I love this. A few years ago, a man was walking down the street. He noticed a woman in need. He thought about his generosity mindset. He turned and looked at her. He got into a conversation. He ended up buying her a hot drink, a hot meal. And she said to him, "It meant the world to me that you stopped and you talked to me." And it turned out it meant the world to him as well. So he posted it on Facebook. That one post went viral. It sparked countless acts of generosity right across Ireland, from adults to children alike. John's whole life was anchored in generosity. He is the founder of Suspended Coffees. It makes it really easy for cafes anywhere to allow their customers to buy an extra cup of coffee for a stranger. There's a whole world out there of caffeinated kindness. Is it possible that when you meet in a cafe with your friend and you're having a coffee, is it possible that you ask the manager, "Do you have suspended coffee?" "Oh, no, what's that?" "Oh, well, we'd like to buy an extra coffee for somebody who's homeless, or, we're in a economic situation. People are struggling to just go in and have a coffee, go in and have a meal. We'd like to just pay for one and stick it up on the thing. And when you feel it's the right thing, or if somebody asks, go, it's all right, somebody's already paid for that." Imagine if all of us, when we went for a coffee this week, which we all like to do, actually said, "Oh, can I put one more coffee behind the bar? Can I put one more full English breakfast, please? Can we pay for another meal and just put it behind the bar and stick it up on the board? It's already paid for." It's a bit of a gospel message about things already being paid for, isn't there? Changes the world. This is now a global organisation. The coffee people can go on, the cafes can go on, and they can find out about this, and they can download it, and it's there. Amazing how many people could be affected by it. What I've heard from some cafes is that they now do community tables in the cafe. And a community table is a simple fact that it's marked as a community table. If you sit at a community table, it means you want to talk to somebody. We have a problem in our society with loneliness. So wouldn't it be great to be able to know that there's a cafe that I can just go and sit there and I can talk to somebody. We're not talking rocket science here, guys. We're talking about changing our society bit by bit, coffee by coffee. It's acts. It's about infectious generosity. And so I love this. It says, sit at the table as a stranger and leave as friends. Isn't that really nice? But it's about community. The word unity, i.e. what we all get together, is in the word community. I'm not saying anything radical here, but I'm saying things that actually may ignite for your everyday to change the people around you. It's just a box of tissues. 60 tissues. It's just a box of tissues. This is a lady from Australia. During COVID, she came down the stairs, and in the lobby of the stairs, there was a box of tissues. She didn't even know who Sophie was. It just said, take one. It was just a neighbour that had left in the building. If anybody needs to cry, basically, take a tissue. It moved this lady so much that she went on and she posted it on social media. And then people started to share about their pain in COVID, about being alone in COVID, about not being able to see people in COVID. And, hundreds of thousands of people got affected by COVID. And it turns out that a lot of people did these kindness stories about, oh yeah, this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened. And it turns out now, on that website, she has 500,000 followers, all talking about acts of kindness. Joshua Coombs, he's a hairdresser. And he's been giving free haircuts to people on the street who need them. It makes a huge difference to their lives, sparks a beautiful movement called Do Something for Nothing. And in each case, authentic human emotion has been amplified by creativity and courage. No wonder these initiatives have blown up so beautifully. There's another story about a guy, a painter, and in Spain, all the refuse men, they have carts. And they do it with their own hands. And they have these carts, and they put the rubbish in at the back. And this painter decided to paint all the rubbish carts for the guys. So as they came along, he said, right, when you finish, let me paint it, and made them bright and beautiful. It's now a tourist attraction. How much more value to those bin collectors, the people that are maybe society say, you're the lowest of the low, now they're getting all the photos taken. Now they're actually lifting the whole atmosphere of that town simply by infectiousness, about doing something you're good at and sharing it. Those are just some examples, okay? I then spent a half an hour on a website just thinking, well, what opportunities are there? What could 2 or 3 people do? What could a small group do? What could you do in your local town? This isn't just for Anglesey. Other visitors from all around the UK, you know your villages, your towns, where you are. You are just as important as the Anglesey people here. And Lighthouse people, we want to get around you and we want to pray with you for your scattered church environment. So these were just some of the things. So Anglesey Food Banks, the Trussell Trust, they have one. I actually went to my first ever food bank on Wednesday. It was great, okay? There's a housing justice for Anglesey, for homelessness. There's Christians Against Poverty. There's volunteering opportunities on the Gov Wales. And then I found this other website, and there were 44 current volunteering opportunities in Anglesey in May. Please just say, I just want to say a caveat, okay? I'm not asking you all individually to go out and do all of this stuff. I'm just asking, is it possible? Is it possible for the person that you meet every week or the couple of people you interact with every week to go, do you know what? It'd be really nice if we just met, but we met at this cafe and we changed the atmosphere in that cafe. It'd be really nice if we just went, two of us, I'm scared, I can't do it by myself. But wouldn't it be amazing if two of us went, I'm just going to go to the food bank, just come and hold my hand, because I want to do food bank stuff. Come and hold my hand. Is it possible? That's all I'm asking. Is it possible? You know, Christianity is about faith in action. You know, faith is a doing word. Remember this, whoever sows sparingly will reap sparingly. Each of you should give what you've decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver, and God is able to bless you abundantly, so that all things at all times, having all you need, you will abound in every good work. I'd like to be a cheerful giver. Would you like to be a cheerful giver? Do you think, are people coming to mind and organisations just coming to mind that you can help? If you commit a journey of generosity, sooner or later, two amazing companions will join you on that journey. They're your journey mates, and their names are meaning and happiness. That's not from the Bible. That's from the Infectious Generosity's mother. The guy who wrote it, his mother spoke those words over him. That, again, is the crux. You matter. What you do, where you are, who you are, matters. So we're just going to do a testimony for Leslie, and she's asked to share.
My name's Leslie, and I live in Llandonna. I live with James, who is my husband. So where do I work and spend the majority of my time? Well, I'm kind of on a tiny break from work, but I work based in Ysbyty Gwynedd, which is hospital in Bangor. So I have an office there, but I go out into the community, and the community is on Ynys Môn and covering Gwynedd as well. And I work for a mental health team. And I spend a lot of time at home as well in Llandonna. Hobbies? Well, I have a medical condition that means that really I need to exercise because I need to strengthen my bones. So I try very hard to exercise. So I go to a couple of classes and we grow vegetables. So that's another hobby. So the organisation or charity that I'm sort of interested in is Shelter. That's kind of national. I think if you could pray for, it's a busy time with families for us, sort of children, parents, and knowing how to deal with all of that really and how to balance it.
Amazing, thank you so much. So what I want to do is that if you want to come and do the same thing on the map, please, visitors, love it if you came and did these. We'll leave these questions up, and I will stay by the map. The rest of us, what I'd love us to do is just get into small groups and pray for each other's scattered church.